Hi everyone, I'm Anita of My Juke and I podcast, and wherever you are in the world, hope you're having a fabulous day. And if you're seeing the show for the very first time and you like the show, please subscribe, like, and share, and hit that notification bell so when an episode comes out, you'll be the first to know. So, a lot has been going on. I haven't been really posting videos per se because it's the holidays, y'all, and my kids and them are here and everything, so I just want to be present for them. So that's the reason why you guys haven't been seeing me, but there is a lot, and I'm telling you, a lot to talk about. We have Omid's book. He gave two interviews, I believe, one to People and one to another publication called Paris Match. So I'm just going to break down everything that I have gathered throughout the internet thus far on Omid's book that is supposed to come out on Tuesday the 28th. Okay, and it's all about the royal family. It is called Endgame, okay? And it is a look into the royal family, right? And the monarchy's fight for survival. Omid is on to something. But anyways, let me just break down what I got, and it's a lot that is out there, okay? So remember, Omid was and is still a royal reporter. He's 42 years old. He's written a book before called Finding Freedom. It was mostly based on Harry and Meghan's exit from the royal family. And he co-wrote it with Caroline Durand, another royal reporter. Okay, it's been a while now. I hope I have my facts right. I'm saying this from my head. But the other things here that I'm going to share with you are things that I sort of scour the internet for, and most of it came from the Times and the Guardian. And so here it is, okay? So here is the breakdown. So I'm going to start off with first what they said about Kate Middleton. So it was reported that Kate Middleton shivers when she hears Meghan Markle's name. And she has a right to shiver because she knows Meghan knows a lot. Meghan knows a lot about them and about her, and she has to shiver because she's just afraid that Meghan spills the tea on her. So I could imagine her shivering, but we're going to table that until Omid's book comes out so that we can talk about it a little more. It also says, still talking about Kate, that the relationship between Kate and Meghan is described as cold, or was cold, with almost zero direct communication since 2019. Yes, I could see that relationship could be cold because Kate saw a threat in Meghan. She saw Meghan was getting all the attention. Meghan was doe-eyed, fresh, had a lot of ideas. She was eager to go out there and work. And based on what we've heard about Kate, she's described as being very lazy, very happy to doing very little. So definitely when she saw Meghan, she was threatened, and in a way to make Meghan feel unwelcome, she treated her with a cold shoulder. I get it. It's very clear. And those people who have been following the royal family now for a while knows, okay? And those that are pretending not to know, well, they're trying to protect the monarchy. One of the things that Omid said in his book, that there's no going back with the relationship with Harry, Kate, and Meghan. And yeah, Meghan just doesn't want to be a part of the soap opera that is the royal family. Yeah, and I don't blame her. This is somebody who's suffered at the hands of the members of the royal family. This is a woman that almost took her life and she was totally ignored. So I am not surprised, and I agree with her in saying that she doesn't want to go back to that soap opera that is the royal family. Yes, so they weren't speaking much at all, even though we saw them go to that Wimbledon event, that tennis event. They went together, and it appears that they were talking, but apparently things were very cold between them. And yeah, and it was just not very good, the way that I remember very much when this was announced, saying that Meghan will accompany Kate, instead of saying that these two women, grown women, are going together. It was just a diss to Meghan from the get-go. So we see where they were coming from. It was also alleged that Kate had elocution lessons to sound like the Queen. Although Mumbles, as I call her, she who speaks like she has hot potatoes in her mouth, could never be the Queen. She can never ever compete with the 70 years that Queen Elizabeth had while reigning. So no matter how much lesson that Kate's take, she is who she is. She will probably never be a queen, what she so desperately wants, okay? So she never supported Meghan. She probably, if she did, she would have learned how to speak like Meghan does. But jealousy is a terrible thing, okay? And of course, they touched on the concerns about Archie's skin color, and Omid said that he couldn't name the individuals. Apparently, he does know the names, but he cannot name the names. Apparently, it's two people who had that discussion about Archie's skin color, and he said because of British laws that he could not, say who these individuals are. But Omin, you can always tell us, and we will tell right here in the United States, okay? Just if in case you need somebody to say. Okay, moving on. So, as I said, that book is coming out on the 28th of this month, November 20th. There's a lot to talk about. And he does talk about the royal family is facing a lack of interest from young people, right? Now, the way Kit was dressing for a very long time, very antiquated, we saw that. There is no way that these young'uns out there would be attracted to Kate at all. Hence, you have Meghan, who was more relatable, who looked like the everyday people. And I could see why Kate would be so jealous of Meghan, and she would have definitely bring in those young individuals to, have some type of interest in the royal family, as opposed to Kate, who looked very frumpy, very serious. The woman couldn't move, literally. She was stiff like a board. Okay, so just saying, I'm just calling it as I'm seeing it, or as I saw it. Okay, so definitely, they needed Megan more than Megan needed them. Okay, so they're in a lot of trouble. Also, Omi talked about a growing Republican movement. You guys have all seen those yellow placards and yellow signs saying "Not my king." Those anti-monarchists that is always protesting wherever Charles and the rest of the clan goes. They're met with protests. So that there's a noise brewing from that group of people in the United Kingdom itself, on their own turf, not anywhere else, but on their own turf, that is calling for an end to the monarchy. Okay, and he also talked about there's a lot of question about upholding morals and values in the royal family. Values. The royal members of the royal family never had values. Okay, you have the head, who is Charles, who literally and there's a word for it, but it's really in Creole, in French. He is a papa mawat. And what does that mean? Somebody who makes children and leave them to fend for themselves. He definitely showed his children no love. He didn't connect to them. He was too busy chasing Camilla's skirt like a dog chasing a ball. That's what he was literally doing. So he literally has shown us that when it comes to family values and having morals, he's exempt from that. That is not part of his pedigree. Okay? Yes. And oh my goodness, poor Diana. Oh, she definitely went through it with Charles. The woman loved her husband, but he'd rather sneak about, abandon his children for Camilla. I have a few choice words for her, and I will save it because most people don't like to hear it, and I'm a good girl. I don't call people Mila and the other names that people have out there for her, but Diana did call her a Rottweiler, so I can say that. Okay. Omid also said that Prince William is a hothead. He's hot-headed, right? And he has no problem, or he definitely feels comfortable with palace staff playing the dirty games out there with the media. And the way that he does it is to paint his brother as mentally fragile. Well, I would say it's William that is mentally fragile. His ego is so weak, I would say, that he has to literally put somebody down, his own brother, his own kid, his own flesh and blood, to make himself feel good. Now, that is somebody that is very fragile. That is somebody that is very fragile, to want to hurt other people for him to feel good. Oh, the last time I checked, that was the definition of a sociopath. Okay? Now, if he wants to do that to Harry, what is he going to do to his people if he wants to destroy his own brother? It brings me to the story of Cain and Abel. William is definitely a Cain. That's all I'm saying. So he also said that Queen Camilla is described as finally being tolerated by the public, but reportedly she rolls her eyes at subjects like gender identity. So Camilla, what Omid is saying, does not like gays, literally. And I'm not surprised, because there's a group of people, especially people like Camilla, who stuck in time and refuse to believe that people can choose, or if they're born a particular way, that they no longer have to hide in a closet. They can be themselves. So I'm not surprised that she's that way. She comes across that way. He alleges that Camilla thanked Piers Morgan when Piers Morgan called Meghan Pinocchio Princess. Her thank you, he said, was apparently for defending the royal family. I'm telling you, the royal family, with all their billions and millions of dollars, they need these reporters to defend them. I have a word for them. They're nothing more than cowards hiding behind these so-called royal reporters. Cowards, indeed. Okay? In Scobie's book, the royal family is depicted as resistant to change, more relying on patriotism to stay relevant instead of addressing modern challenges like diversity. And you can even see with the fan base of the royal family, it's mostly older people, and there's nothing wrong, because I'm not young. I may look that way, but I'm not a spring chicken. Okay, so it's mostly older people. You could even see them when there is an event in England. You will see them come out, the older people that believed in the royal family, who really loved the queen, and you know, the thing about it also too, that's all they know. They've been hearing about the queen all their lives, and those people, or that generation of people, they strongly believe in the monarchy, because that's what they've heard all their lives. They don't know any better. Okay, so that's what the newspaper is saying, based on the interviews that Omid has given. Although, let me just say, Omid said that if we really want to know what is in his book, that we should read his book. Okay, that's what he said. We all know that there was also extracts or excerpts from Harry's book, and not only were the excerpts, there were also translated excerpts from another language, and it's sort of like the translation sort of it's different from, you know, reading the book in context. So that's, he encouraged people to read the book. What else again? Oh yeah, well, we all know about that, what happened in England when Harry was in England. They denied Harry from seeing the Queen, and you know, Harry had to charter a flight paying £30,000 to, you know, be by his grandmother's bedside, although he got there 3 hours later, when he could have gotten a ride with other members of the royal family, like his brother, who didn't get to see um, Queenie either, but with other members, and he wouldn't have to pay that money. He would not have been alone, and so on. So we all know how that happened. That is not new news. Okay, so and William apparently doesn't want to talk to Harry. He ignores his text because when he was trying to get in touch with um, William, Harry was trying to get in touch with William and send to him several texts. William never answered it. Okay, they also said that it was Princess Anne, Afro Anne, who initiated taking away Frogmore Cottage from Harry at a Christmas gathering. So I guess it was that time when they were all sitting together, and Afro Anne, you gotta watch her. You see how she says nothing. She always have her hand there. She always have her helmet afro on her head, literally stiff. I don't know. I think she literally goes through um, those kinds of stiffening spray. I think she uses one a day because you cannot keep this hair up on your head in this kind of weather that England is known to have, which is very damp. It is perpetually raining or feeling damp in England. And how Anne manages to keep this afro going and to keep that helmet on her head. The only conclusion that I could come up with is that she uses a lot of hairspray, holding spray. Oh my goodness, she probably literally buy it by the boxes. You see, don't trust Anne. You see her here. That's the reason why she is Charles's right hand woman, his literal guard right now. She's the one who, initiated taking away Frogmore Cottage from Harry and Meghan. A lot, okay? And literally, William, Omid said, is painting a negative picture of Harry and Meghan privately, and it is why the US press or the US media and the British media is treating Harry and Meghan the way that they're treating them right now, making a lot of fun of them. So they said, a friend of the royal family, they said, told Omid that William is the one that is planting rumors out there about Harry, okay, to try to destroy him. Wow, that's a lot. And contrary to what have been reported in the British media, saying that Harry is lonely in California, Omid said that Harry has a small circle of friends, okay, in California, and most of his friends that he had in England, they have chosen sides, and the sides that they've chosen to align themselves with William, okay, and well, William can give them favors over them. Maybe that's the reason why they're doing that. Okay? So maybe if they want a place to rest their head in times of trouble, they can also go they can always go to the Duchy of Cornwall. There's a lot of housing there. So I could see why they would align themselves with William and turn on Harry. Okay, Omid also said that The whole idea that Harry sleeps in a hotel out in California is nothing but bullocks. They're lies. Okay? Harry does have friends, even though some of his friends circle in England has shrunk because they've chosen to align themselves with William. He still has some friends in England, okay? And he has definitely made friends over in the United States here, okay? He has a small group of friends here in America. He also mentions that Meghan felt ignored by members of the royal family at the Queen's funeral. We clearly saw it. We clearly saw how Sophie literally gave Meghan, you know, a few nasty looks in the past, and the same thing that they were doing again in during the time of the Queen's funeral. I am telling you, as I slowed down in my speaking there, I was just thinking how high schoolers behave, bullies. They would see you, you've never done anything to them. They would see you and they would just say, I don't like her, or I don't like him. Now you would ask them, well, why don't you like this person? I don't know, but I just don't like them. Oh, and that's how they respond. So I would say the members of the royal family are nothing more than bullies, and they bullied Meghan out of, not only Meghan, but Harry as well. They bullied them out of the royal family. And if they did that, I would not put nothing past them that when Harry and Meghan returned for the Queen's funeral, that they upped the ante. They made it even worse. They made them even feel more uncomfortable. I saw a photo when Harry and Meghan were going off and they got into their car. I saw Harry exhaled. It was a big sigh of relief for him. It's like it was so much to deal with that when he got into his car, he just let it out. Meghan is more composed than Harry. Harry wears his feelings on his sleeve. You could see it on his face, you can see it in his body language. Meghan is a little different. She's more poised, but you saw it in Harry. You could imagine the stress and the tension and the dirty looks and the unfriendly gestures that they were making towards Harry and Meghan. You saw it. It was so sharp. The tension, you could literally cut it with a knife. That's how sharp it was over there in England. Those glaring and dirty stares. It's nothing new, okay? Oops. And that's the reason why Meghan doesn't want to go back. She certainly doesn't want to go back to England. She doesn't want to be part of that soap opera, okay? And another thing that Omi said is that people are always talking about how Meghan is interested in pursuing a career in US politics. Well, he's saying that she has made it clear that she doesn't want to be involved in politics, that she has other interests that would be a little bit more freeing for her. You know that when you are in politics here in the United States, you're under a microscope. Literally, she was under a microscope in the United Kingdom, I'm thinking, and she doesn't want to come back into the same situation here in the United States. Not that she couldn't win, she could, because she has a huge following. But the fact of the matter is, she's just coming out from a pressure cooker in the United Kingdom, and to come back here again in the US, you know, with two young children, just trying to establish herself and to, you know, get boots on the ground, as she always says, to put herself back in a position like that. He says all of that is just made up by the British media. He also said that William is very angry with Harry, especially since Harry released his memoir, Spear. Now, what troubles me is that everybody can talk about their lives and everybody can write their memoir, but Harry cannot. It makes no sense. You're going to let everybody write about their life story, and then you're going to say, Harry, you cannot write about your life story because your life story is not your life story. How dare William? How dare William? It is very interesting that everybody can write about their story, but Harry shouldn't. Harry should wait for people to tell him when to write about his life story and say what they want him to say about his life story, when it is his story and it is his story to tell. The audacity of William. What William should worry about is some nice toothpaste and a nice toothbrush, and try to take out the butter, the yellow butter that is on his teeth. There, I said it. That's what he should be worried about, not what people are putting in their life story. You can't tell people what to write about themselves. Just like how they want Harry and Meghan to create their schedule around them. How can you tell two grown people where to go and when to go? It reminds me of slavery. Only during the time of slavery you could tell people, or when people are enslaved, you can tell them where to go, when to go, and how to go. This is not your possession. Okay? Harry and Meghan don't belong to anybody. They have their free will. They have their own autonomy, their independence. They don't have to tiptoe around the royal family's schedule. Give me a break, William, and the clans that are over there that are working with him. But you know what? For Harry and Meghan, this too shall pass. Look at what happened to their biggest mouthpiece at GBN, Dan Wootton. Look at what happened to him. He definitely fell like Humpty Dumpty. Where is he anyways? I haven't heard a peep about this guy. He's definitely in hiding, okay, which he should have done a long time ago. Okay. And they said that William and Harry is at an impasse, and it seems like a reconciliation between them is near impossible, because there is too much anger and jealousy in that relationship. You know, William always wanted to be Harry. He always wanted to be as charismatic as Harry, and you know, as the person that was going to be quote unquote king, which I don't believe will ever happen. Oh Lord, you know, he wished he had that personality. He wished he could just bag that up, you know, and put everything together and be like Harry to win people over. But there's always a saying, you're either born with it or you're born without it. Harry was born with that talent, that social intelligence, able to mingle and get along with people and feel comfortable around people, and, let his guards down around people. But William just doesn't have that. And he has to come to terms with that. He has to come to terms with the fact that he's not a people person. So I believe that he is indeed jealous of those talents and those natural ability that Harry has. Okay, as a king, you're supposed to be able to integrate among your subjects. So that is one thing that Harry has that he doesn't have, and he's certainly jealous of that component, and that Harry married to Meghan. you know, he wishes Kate was like Meghan, being able to command an audience, highly intelligent, confident, sure of herself. He wishes that, his wife had those qualities. Unfortunately, she doesn't. And it's either you're born with it, William, or you're not. And Kate doesn't have it. Meghan was born with it, and you're just gonna have to accept what you have and who you are. Boring, dull, unintelligent, and unfit for your position in life, which most likely you may never see. Okay, you have the Duchy of Cornwall to go back to. Okay, William? Leave Harry alone. Okay? They also said that William is a person that gets upset very quickly, but he has a way of suppressing it. He has a way of not letting it show, but behind closed doors, they said he has a bad anger issue. No, that is not good for a king. Here goes why he's jealous of Harry, because he has anger issues. Okay? He has anger issues, and he wish he didn't have those issues. And he sees all the qualities that Harry has, which would make him a good king. That's why we call Harry Good King Harry, that he doesn't have. So hence the animosity and the jealousy. Okay? Omid, they said, portrays William also to be cold, ruthless, and who is eager to ascend to the throne. He so desperately wants to be king. Charles better watch his back with this guy. If he can put out stories about his own brother out there, lies about his own brother out there, so, I don't know what he would do to Charles. Remember, Charles is somebody that never really was there for him, so we don't know what he could do to Charles, because here Omid is portraying him as somebody who is eager to ascend to the throne. Oh my God. And he is more concerned, Omid said, about his image than the monarchy itself. Oh my good William, take your time, dear. Take your time. Take your time. Don't stress about something that may never be. Okay? Don't stress about something that may never be. All that energy you're wasting, you could definitely direct it to spending quality time with your wife and not your mistress. Okay? And spending quality time with your children instead of planting stories about Harry and Meghan to make them look bad in the US when they've clearly left England for you. You should be happy now. Okay? You should be happy. I was just thinking about there's a saying that a king has no something in his castle, no respect in his castle. That might just be what is happening behind closed doors. Who knows? That's the reason why William also feel inadequate, because he's probably looked at as a mockery, as a joke. I could just imagine what the um, the staff is snickering about William and Kate when they turn their backs. Oh God! They also said that Kate saw Meghan as a rival, and she spent more time talking about Meghan than to Meghan. Okay, that's what a source close to the royal family told Omid. That's what he said. Okay, so it seems like Meghan had free real estate in Kate's head. Kate was living, breathing Meghan. Her threat. She was living, breathing, eating, everything with Meghan on her mind. Meghan had free real estate in her head. She couldn't stop thinking about her. That's why she she treated her so poorly. You know, her thoughts were always, how can she derail Meghan? Okay, or maybe yet, how can she be like Meghan? Maybe that too, or criticizing Meghan to the staff. No wonder this guy was accused of selling stories to the Sun and selling stories allegedly to Dan Wootton, or selling Dan Wootton stories about Harry and Meghan, because Kate probably couldn't keep her mouth shut, constantly talking about Meghan and what is going on, and people are hearing it. And when they get a story, and when these unscrupulous, ruthless people over there gets an opportunity to sell a story for a mere £4,000, which is not a lot of money, okay? Which is not a lot of money. They will take every opportunity. They will leap at the opportunity, literally, okay? Yeah, so they said they certainly allowed negative rumors about the Sussexes to circulate, and they definitely contributed to the media war against Harry and Meghan, the royal family, particularly Kate and William. That is what is being alleged. Okay, but as I said, Omin said, wait until his book comes out, and before saying anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and say I trust what the Guardian said. Okay, I trust what the Guardian said. He also said that the king warned the royal family members not to trust Harry following the publication of his memoir, Spare. That they shouldn't say anything around Harry, because they were fearful that if anything was said about Harry, Harry could potentially put it in a book. Okay? Now, Omid is saying now that Harry is ready to put all the negativity that has gone on between his family aside and reconcile with particularly his family. Although Meghan doesn't want to have anything to do with them, but Harry is willing. Now, Harry had always said that he knows what they've done, and he called them out on public TV. On, I think it was ITV. He called them out, and so he also said he wants an apology from them. But now it looks like Omid is saying that he's willing to forego the apology because it's never going to happen. These people are set in their ways, and they, as I said, they all need therapy in that royal family. They're cold-hearted. That royal family didn't survive 1,000 years just because they're cold-hearted. And he probably will wait until eternity, and he will never get the apology. So he's, going to be the bigger person, and he's going to forego that, and he wants to reconcile. And he did say he wanted a relationship on television with his family, and it is not my place. I'm a supporter of Harry and Meghan, but Harry and Meghan are grown people. They make their own decisions. They do what is best for them. And I could like it, or I could not like it. It's not, it doesn't have an impact on them. And as I said the last time, if you're a fan of Harry and Meghan, you have to love them and accept them unconditionally. There are things that they may do or may say that does not align with my beliefs, but if it makes them happy, I'm happy for them. Good on them. That's how I look at it. And we cannot sit down and want Harry and Meghan to do what we want them to do. We don't own them. We don't control them. And if we do that, we're always going to be disappointed by their actions. We're always going to be disappointed by the things that they do, because at the end of the day, Harry and Meghan are grown people. They're making their own decisions. It's their life to live, people. It is not ours to decide. Okay? Let me see where I am with that. Yeah, I did talk already about how Princess Anne, Afro Anne, is portrayed in Omid's book as the chief instigator of, taking away Frogmore Cottage, a gift that the Queen had given to Harry and Meghan after they got married to raise their family. How, Princess Anne urged Charles to evict Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage. I only hope that they paid them back all the money that they had put into refurbishing the place, because it was a rundown mess. What it looks like today and what it looked like, I don't know if some of you was around at that time to see Frogmore Cottage. It was literally dwellings for staff. It was roomed off for the people who worked at Windsor. And Harry and Meghan made it into a beautiful home. It didn't have what the UK press, they said everything. It didn't have what they didn't say. They said absolutely everything about Harry and Meghan when they when they refurbished the place and made it into a beautiful home for their family. I don't know where they wanted them to go. I don't know where they wanted Harry and Meghan to go, and if they wanted them to live in squalor. Should they deserve? They were senior members of the royal family. Of course, they deserve the same privileges, I say, you know, that other members of the royal family were enjoying. You know, why should they be given chopped liver when other members of the royal family who does less than Harry and Meghan are eating filet mignon? Okay, so they deserved it. They deserved Frogmore Cottage, and they deserved for it to be a habitable place, you know, a decent place, you know, to raise their family. But you see, that's what the British press was always going to do. They were never going to look at things with, in an honest way, with honesty. They were always going to look at it in a way to break down Meghan and to destroy her, because they saw she was definitely a threat to Kate. And based on probably what Harry, not Harry, well, Harry did and Meghan did say they were feeding them to the wolves. Based on what William and Kate were doing, you know, they did see them in a way as a threat. So that's the reason why they were feeding negative stories out there. They were comfortable feeding negative stories out there to, you know, the press about Harry and Meghan, to destroy them, to break them down. Well, they said one of the people that were concerned about Harry out of all the different members of the royal family was Emile Eddy. Okay, Prince Edward. He was concerned about Harry's mental health. He's the only person that showed empathy for Harry. Everybody else was, you know, showed disdain for Harry and Meghan. And Emile Eddy, as he's called, because the reason why they call him that, if people don't know and watching, sorry, I'm just blowing up for something, because they love to come in my plants, these little bugs. You see where it is there? Yeah, so Emile Eddy, the reason why he's gotten that name is because he loved taking helicopters everywhere. Eddie would be going down the street, Emile Eddy. Edward would be going down the street and Edward would hitch a ride on a helicopter. And then he had come on for a lot of pressure about and a lot of talk about his use of helicopters. So hence he got that nickname, Emile Eddy. Okay, so they said he was very concerned about Harry's mental health. He's now called the Duke of Edinburgh. He was gifted that when the Queen passed. What else again? Yes. Omid also suggests that Queen Elizabeth was almost perfect. She was almost perfect, and he referred to King Charles, or Charles Chucky, as having a lot of faults and is struggling to unite the family, to get them together. I know Queenie, as I like to call her for Harry, and you know, the world, you know, the seriousness here is that everybody who has lived up to, you know, that is at least 20 years old is aware or was aware of Queen Elizabeth. You just knew that this lady, Queen of England, and she was just so well respected and what have you. And it seems like, you know, she had a lot of qualities that Harry admired, and She was there for Harry when his father wasn't there for him. She was there. And also too, I'm thinking that Elizabeth saw that Harry, was alone. He didn't have a mother because his mother had passed. His father was chasing Camilla. He didn't have any time for his children. And also she saw that she wasn't the mother that she would have liked to be because of her circumstance. She had to stand up and, become queen. And that role is a lot of tug, a lot of pulling here and there. And, you're engulfed in it and you don't have time for the things that matters to you most or should matter to you most, which are your children. So I think that she saw an opportunity, and that's just my thinking. She saw an opportunity to really be the mother that she was unable to be to Harry. And she was really there for him, and that's the reason why Harry speaks so highly of her. And no, Omid is speaking so highly of her. And yeah, definitely. So that's my take on things. That's my opinion. And although a lot of people doesn't like the queen, but I think also with all of this testosterone around the queen, with her, different family members, you have, and who to me I always knew she was a tough cookie. Remember her dogs and them that she had running around with? Dogs are like their masters, literally. They take up some behaviors of their masters. No wonder they were nipping children and, around the queen in her ears and making her, and Charles too, anxious Charles, giving his mother so much trouble, and all the other clans and the courtiers and everybody out there. And, they were literally confusing the queen in her last days, in the couple of years that she had. So the things that she did to Harry in her last years, I think it was a lot of pressure from, her children and, her staff, literally. Because here she is, an older woman, and everybody is in her ears. So she just had to fall in line with, she had become dependent on them. She didn't have her husband, that was her right-hand person telling her, you could see in the crown how, her husband was always there giving her advice. She didn't have any of that, and she had these little clowns around her, telling her what to do, and a lot of confusion. So she literally, I believe at a time when Harry was supposed to meet up with her, she literally, you turned Harry away by saying that she wasn't available. Her staff did that, and she just a lot of pressure and a lot of confusion. Remember, the monarchy is a huge institution, and you're hearing people telling you this and you're hearing people telling that, and you depend on those people, and God forbid you're in this fragile state in your life and you go against them. What they could do to you, they could make the rest of your life miserable. So I think that's the reason why I'm so forgiving of the queen in some respect. I mean to say, yes, she did, she was there for 70 years, and a lot of people see her as, one of those people that was part of colonialism, and it's hard to forgive her for that, but as I said, the queen was a woman of her times, and she just went along with the program. So I'm a little forgiving of her, and I could just imagine, as a woman being in that position, what she had to come up against. So those are the things I think about when I think about Elizabeth. Well, yeah, he believed that the queen was not perfect. She was almost perfect. She was almost good. That's what he believes. He also believes that although his book is entitled Endgame, he believed that Charles has done a good job on the international stage, but he believes that he is incapable of uniting his clan, his family members. I don't expect Charles to be able to do any of that. Charles was never paternal. He's just not that kind of person. He's an awkward kind of man, and he has no family values. So certainly this is not something that you should hold your breath, hoping to happen. That Charles will be able to do. By then you will be dead holding your breath. He's incapable of such. Okay? Omid also said that William kept him out of a lot of engagements, royal engagements, after he wrote Finding Freedom in 2020, thinking that he was working with Harry and Meghan. So he didn't want him around during his engagements. He just didn't want Omid around. That's what Omid said. He made his life difficult. And he couldn't do his job because William kept him from the press corps. Is it press corps or press corp? I think it's the press corp. As I said, people, I'm learning things every day. I never ever in my wildest dream that I would be so involved with so many things and hearing about so many things and researching so many things. I never ever thought in my wildest dreams that I would be doing all of that. And I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much thanks to the Sussexes. Okay. What else again? Oh yes. They said that Meghan had written to the Queen regarding her concerns about the royal racist comments about Archie's skin color. Now, what I'm getting now is that there were two races, and they didn't know if they were directly members of the British royal family or people who were connected to the royal family. I'm thinking, as I said, that connected. Could it be that it was the Middletons that said that? Is it possible? I'm starting to think. Two set of people, don't know if they are part of the royal family, both of them are part of the royal family, or connected to the royal family. Wow. But Omid knows who they are. And as I said, Omid, you can always tell me. I wouldn't say you told me. I would say it because I'm here in the United States. Okay, because apparently you cannot say it over there in England. You could get sued for saying it. Okay. Anyways, that's a long video. I said a lot. I don't even know how I'm going to edit this video, but I'm just going to send it out like it is. Okay. It is going to be what it is. And yeah, stay tuned. Okay. Bye and take care. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And hit the like button on your way out. Okay. Take care. See you next time with the next video.